So good morning students. So today we will begin a new concept regarding geography part. Already you have been studying regarding the earth and you are knowing about in your previous classes you have been studying, earlier classes you have been studying. So somewhat you are knowing regarding the earth. So today we are going to study regarding the inner part of the earth. The inner part of the earth. So today we are going to study regarding the lithosphere. Lithosphere. So lithosphere. So meaning and importance of the lithosphere. The outermost solid layer of the earth is known as lithosphere. A question may come, what is lithosphere? So the outermost solid layer of the earth is called lithosphere. Litho means rock. So here litho means rock. Sphere means earth sphere. The layer is which? The layer. So this layer is very thick in the continents and quite thin under the sea floor. So lithosphere consists of rocks, minerals, soils, etc. And the life exists on the layer with the help of the atmosphere and hydrosphere. The life exists on the lithosphere with the help of the atmosphere and hydrosphere. Continents are the parts of the lithosphere. Where different landforms like mountains, plateaus, plains, etc. are found. So these all are found in the lithosphere. So Earth's interior and its composition. Earth's interior and composition. Earth's interior and composition. Earth's interior, inside the earth, and its composition. So Earth's interior. So here, our planet Earth is more than 4.6 billion years old and still in the process of changing. Man is the quest of understanding this change and eager to know more about the inside the earth. So somewhat the man is knowing regarding it. So whatever the mining goes on, the gold mining and the other minings which goes on, it is regarding the inside the earth crust itself. But man has possible to reach only 12 kilometers inside the earth. Inside the earth only 12 kilometers is possible to. So beyond the 12 kilometers he can't due to the atmosphere, due to temperature, increase the temperature he can't. So still it is a mystery for the man. What is there? What is inside the earth? What is still the mystery for the man? What is inside the earth? So information about the minerals inside the earth up to 10 to 12 kilometers. Only till 10 to 12 kilometers man is knowing regarding the inside the earth. More than that, it is still a mystery for the man. So going beyond the depth is very difficult due to the increase of temperature. 1 degree Celsius for every 32 meter. 1 degree Celsius for every 32 meter. To understand more about the earth's interior, humans are dependent on the indirect evidence such as seismic waves, volcanic materials. Earth's interior comprises of various materials in such different forms. The basic of density material, chemical composition and physical states of matter of the Earth's interior are classified into 3 types. They are being classified into 3 types. So which are there? The crust, the mantle and the core. The crust, mantle and the core. So first we will study regarding the crust. The crust. The crust is the uppermost layer of the earth. Rich in silica, aluminum and magnesium. The depth of this layer is around 60 kilometers. From the surface. So depth of this layer. So this is the surface. So depth of this crust is 60 kilometers. Man is possible only to reach to the 12 kilometers. Only to 12 kilometers. The crust itself is 60 kilometers. So here the uppermost 60 kilometers the upper part of the crust, only lighter materials are found. It is called silica and aluminium or continental crust, or the upper part is also been called as the continental crust. The lower part of the crust is rich in silica and magnesium, so it has been called as the oceanic crust. The upper part has been called as the continental crust and the lower part has been called as the oceanic crust. Lower part is called the oceanic crust. So this is regarding the crust. So next, the another interior of the earth. So that is called as the mantle. The mantle is the second and the middle layer of the earth. The mantle is the second and the middle layer of the earth. The depth of this layer is up to 2,900 kilometers. So depth of this layer, depth of mantle is 2,900 kilometers. 2,900 kilometers. From the surface, the material are in the semi-liquid or in the partially molten state is called as magma. Molten. Now ragi malt anta ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ವಾ, ನೀರು ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಲ್ಟ್ ಬೇರೆ. ಮಾಲ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ದಪ್ಪಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೂನಲ್ಲಿ ತಿನ್ಬೋದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಯಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಆ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಮಾಲ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ in the semi-liquid or in the semi-liquid or the partially in the molten state. Partially in the molten state is called as magma. The mantle is composed of dense and the rigid rock which have the predominance of minerals like magnesium and iron. The mantle has the two parts, upper mantle and the lower mantle. Upper mantle is been called as the astrosphere. It is partially in the molten condition, and lower mantle is been called as the mesosphere. It is in a solid condition. It is in the solid condition. The contact zone between the crust and the mantle is been called as the moha or the Morovich discontinuity. The contact zone, so it is the crust and the mantle. The contact zone is been called as the moho. While the boundary that separates the mantle from the core is called as Gutenberg discontinuity. So the boundary that between the core and the mantle is called Gutenberg discontinuity. Here the rocks are in the different. Here rocks are different in the chemical composition, and those below from those below and above. So this is regarding the mantle. And the last interior of the earth is the core. This is the innermost layer of the earth. The depth of this layer is 6,371 kilometers. The depth of the 6,371 kilometers. 71 kilometers. Depth of this core is 6,371 kilometers. From the surface, the most important materials of the core is nickel and ferrous. So it is known as the NIFE. The core is divided into two sublayers. Outer core is known as the molten core. The core is divided into two sublayers. Outer core and the inner core. Outer core is known as the molten core. Whereas the materials are in the liquid and in the molten form. And the inner core is known as the solid core. Because the materials will be in the solid form. So this is regarding the interior of the earth. These are the interior of the earth. So next we will move towards the rocks. So what first? Rocks are the solid inorganic substance that are found in the crust of the earth. The rocks are the solid inorganic substance that are found in the crust of the earth. They are aggregate of minerals. Rocks are formed due to the various natural process. On the basis of the mode of formation. Rocks are classified into three. So they are the aggregate of the minerals. Rocks are the aggregate of the minerals. Aggregate of the minerals. So I think bauxite, aluminium, so they all will be in the rock form itself. Iron, they all will be in the rock form itself. So next year you are going to learn. Next year myself I will show the images of those bauxite, manganese, those minerals. So here they are the aggregate of the minerals. Rocks are formed due to the various natural processes. On the basis of the mode of formation, rocks are being classified. On the basis of the mode of formation, rocks are being classified. Rocks are being classified. They are being classified into igneous rocks, igneous rock, sedimentary rocks, metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks. So these are the three types of rocks. So here, first the igneous rock. Igneous rocks. The word igneous means fire. So it is derived from the Latin word ignis, of the Sanskrit word agni. Igneous rocks are those which have been formed by the cooling of the mantle, cooling of the molten matter of the earth. Cooling of the molten. So molten, so it will be in the molten form, partially liquid. So that will be cooled. When that molten will be cooled, it will become liquid. So it will become solid. So that is being called as the igneous rock. Igneous rocks have been first to be formed. Therefore, they are being called as the primary rocks. Igneous rocks, they have been first to be formed. Igneous rocks are also been called as the primary rocks. So, igneous rocks are further they are being divided. Just listen to me. Further they are being divided into two. Intrusive igneous rock and the extrusive igneous rock. So here first the intrusive, when the molten materials, magma of the earth's interior do not reach the earth's surface, they cool and solidify quietly slow below the surface and called loss of property and called instructive igneous rock. So during time of the earthquake, during time of the volcanoes, say they cannot come to the surface, they cannot come out of the surface of the earth. So they will be there itself. So when they will be there itself, they will cool and they will turn into molten, will turn into solid form. So such type of rocks are being called as the intrusive rocks. So these rocks are made of the large crystal and are found at the great depth of the earth. Example, granite, gabbro, etc. So granite, gabbro, so they are the form of the intrusive rock itself. So next comes the extrusive rock. So here rocks formed by solidification of the magma above the earth's surface are called as the extrusive igneous rock. These rocks are generally fine grained and glassy because lava after reaching the surface of the earth cool and solidifies quickly, blast and answer. So whatever the rock we found on the surface of the earth, the black big rocks. So for example, we can say Yana and the other rocks. So they are the best example for the intrusive rock. So these are the two forms of the igneous rock. So next we will move to the sedimentary rock. So sedimentary rocks, they are also been called as the secondary rocks also. So the word sedimentary is derived from the Latin word sedimentum, which means settling down. Word sedimentum means word settling down. So sedimentary rocks are formed by the agencies of water, wind and ice. These agents break and erode the igneous rock. Transport this broken fragment and deposit them in the certain places. So in the rivers, what we'll see the rocks. So they are the best example of the sedimentary rocks. Therefore, sedimentary rocks are called stratified rocks. They are called as stratified rocks. These sedimentary rocks are found after the disintegration of the igneous, separation from the igneous rock. disintegration. So such rocks are called as the sedimentary rocks. So therefore they are also called as the secondary rocks. They are also called as the aqueous rocks. Aqueous. They are also called as the aqueous rock because they are found in the water bodies. Sedimentary rocks mostly they are 99% they are found in the water bodies. So they are being called as the aqueous rock. They are called aqueous rock. So next we will come towards the in the sedimentary rock, some classification of sedimentary rock. Mechanical form sedimentary rocks, chemical form sedimentary rocks, originally formed sedimentary rocks. So these are three types of sedimentary rocks. There are three types of sedimentary rocks. Rocks built up by the fragment and the pre-existence rock which have been produced by the process of weathering and erosion, sandstone, etc. And chemical sediment are commonly found by the process of evaporation of water containing salt in solution. Organically formed sedimentary rocks. So organic sediments etc. are derived from the accumulation of the remaining of the organism, such as shells, marine organisms, remain of plants and animals, limestone and coal. So these are the types of sedimentary rock. The last form of rock is the metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rocks are those which are formed by the process of metamorphism or alteration of pre-existence rock. Alteration of pre-existence rock. So metamorphic rocks are those rocks which are formed by the process of metamorphism or alteration of pre-existence rock. Metamorphism means the change of form which may be physically or chemically or both by the influence of the heat and the pressure. Example: granite, sandstone, coal, limestone, graphite, etc. Metamorphic rocks are the hardest rocks on the earth. These rocks supply precious stone, sapphire, ruby, emerald, diamond, etc. They are found in the metamorphic rocks. So these are the metamorphic rocks. So this is regarding the rocks. So next we will move towards the internal forces. Right. Next we will move towards the internal forces. So internal forces. Internal forces. So the internal forces. Which are the internal forces of volcanoes? Next. So volcanoes, earthquake. So the internal forces are called as endogenic forces also. Internal forces, they are being called as endogenic forces. But so this year we are going to study regarding only regarding the volcanoes. So volcanoes. Already you have been in earlier classes you have been studied regarding the volcanoes, and in the science exhibition most of them you have been done the volcanoes itself. So volcano is a vent or a narrow opening in the earth crust connected by pipe to an underlying magma chamber, through which the magma, rock, fragments, lava, ash, steam, flames and the other gases are emitted from the interior of the earth. So whatever from the earth's crust come outside, it is through the volcano itself. It is through the volcano or the earthquake. Most of them from the volcano itself. So the passage in the earth's crust through which the magma and the other volcanic material are ejected, which come out, has been called as the vent. The funnel shaped hollow at the top of the cone is called as the top of the cone of the volcano is called as the crater. The large basin-shaped crater found by the steep side is known as the caldera. It's been called as the caldera. So like this, the volcano will be there. I think you have been you will be making. So here the opening will be there. So here this is being called as the passage is being called as the vent. So this is being called as the vent. The passage is being called as the vent, and the opening, magma comes out crust, the volcanic material ejected is being called as the vent. So it is being called as the vent, and the funnel shape. And the funnel shape is being ejected. The hollow of the top is being called, the top of the cone is being called as the crater. So this is being called as the crater, and this is being called as where the this is being called as the caldera. This is being called as the caldera. So this is regarding the volcano. Types of volcano. Types of volcano. Just listen to me. Types of volcano. So on the basis of the periodic or frequent or the periodic or the frequency of the eruption, volcanoes have been classified to three types: active volcanoes, dormant volcanoes, extinct volcanoes. Extinct volcanoes. So there are three types of volcanoes. Volcanoes which are constantly eject lava, gases, ashes is known as the active volcanoes. They are known as the active volcanoes. There are about 600 active volcanoes in the world. Active volcanoes. So frequently they eject lava, gases, ashes from the earth crust. So there are about 600 active volcanoes on the earth. So here in Italy, USA, Hawaii Island, and in the Philippines, some of the active volcanoes are there. So next comes the dormant volcanoes. So dormant volcanoes are those which are erupted in the past and likely to erupt again, but have remained inactive for a long period. Dormant. So in the past they have been erupted, they have been bursted, but now that place there is no volcano eruption. There is no volcano eruption, but it may erupt. It may erupt in the future. We can't say. We can't say it will not erupt itself. It may burst. So such type of volcanoes are called as dormant volcanoes. So they remain inactive. So now they have been inactive. In the past they were active, but now they have been inactive. But in the future they may active. Such volcanoes have been called as the dormant volcanoes. They have been called as the dormant volcanoes. Kilimanjaro in Tanzania and in Indonesia and in Japan, such volcanoes are there. So next comes the extinct volcanoes. So extinct volcanoes are those which are active in the remote geological period, which were active in the remote geological period. So these are not likely to be active once again. Extinct, already they have been vanished. Already such volcanoes. So they are in the Tanzania, in the Scotland. So this volcano we can found. So volcano materials. Next comes the volcano materials. Volcano materials. The materials ejecting from the volcanoes are of three types: solid, liquid, and the gases. So whatever the comes out from the volcano eruption is there, whatever comes out from the volcano, they are of the three types: solid, liquid, and in the gases form. Solid, volcanic bomb, pumic dust, etc. Liquid, lava itself. Gases, sulfuric, hydrogen, carbon dioxide. Distribution of volcanoes. Volcanoes occur in many regions of the world, including the islands, young mountains, ranges, and plateaus of continents. Most important to the circum-Pacific belt or the Pacific Ring of Fire. Pacific Ring of Fire. So coastal margin and the Pacific Ocean consist of the Philippines, Japan, USA, Central America, South America, etc. So mid-Atlantic belt, Iceland, West Indies. So that mid-continental belt, Italy, Spain, France, Greece, and Turkey. Important islands, Hawaii and Indonesia. So in these places, so this volcanoes, you can see the volcanoes in this place. For this year, only till the volcanoes for this year. So next of the portion has been reduced. No need to go from the interior of the earth, from the meaning and importance, and from the earth's interior composition to till volcanoes you have to go. So I'll send the go through the lesson till the volcanoes go through lesson. So in the evening I'll send you the question answers. I'll send which filling the blanks and question answer. It has to be in your notes. I'll send it. So if you are having any doubt regarding the portion, so send me a call me or message me. Thank you.